welcome to another new title on the channel. This is Cold Waters. So I decided, given the popularity of sub-sims on this channel, I decided to kind of reintroduce it on a regular basis with old games, well, old games, with games from the World War II era and a game like this, which is for the modern era. Now, the reason I'm keeping it on the pause screen to start with, it's very hands-on in that one person is supposed to do everything. So as a result, I don't know if I'm going to be able to provide as much of a commentary as I normally do in video games, because I'm going to have to be paying quite a whole heap of attention. So let's get started. So we're doing a mission, and we're here in the North Sea, and we've just picked up a sonar contact. It's off to our left, and it's S1. So let's we don't know who it is at the moment. I know who it is, but we don't strictly know who it is. Sorry, well, we know it's a submarine. We know that much. So we've got the sonar signature down here. We need to try and work out who it is. So in the meantime, let's just get slight on the rudder, and let's try and work out who it is. So it's not a Typhoon, it's not a Delta, that's not it. Shit, okay. They know we're here, so you can just very faintly hear their active sonar. That's it. So Victor 1, I think. So you can see 1, 2, 3 lines. The strong lines are there, and then there's 2 faint lines which match up, so I'm pretty sure it's a Victor 1. Okay, I think we're now into... No, we're still into... Right, okay. I think at 11... Okay. I think at the moment they're giving away their position. I think we are too far away for them to know where we are, but they are actively searching for us. So what the thing you're occasionally hearing is the active sonar, which basically gives away your position immediately, but it can provide very accurate information over a short distance. Over longer distances, it still gives away your position but doesn't provide any data, and I think that's kind of where we're at. Okay, so the ship's moving away from us. So this exterior view is basically, so unlike something like Silent Hunter, it's not like a true exterior vision. This is basically based on our sensors. Let's just get this back to the Victor 1. Yes, so this is based on the sensors. They've now gone very, very slow, so we're only seeing some noise of the reactor. So yes, so basically I can't just look at this and see what ship it is, because this is where the sonar contact is. I'm just trying to see if I can see my submarine. So that's the eerie pings that it's coming from. But yeah, as soon as... Okay, so our con is reporting that the ship is cavitating. When a ship is cavitating, it means it's going so fast that its sonar is diminished and it's making a lot of noise. I think they might be preparing to come round for an attack, actually. Okay, they've slowed down because we've lost a little bit more of the sonar information. Let's right rudder. Okay, we have trial solution, and they are still pinging us. Okay, so we're going to bring us round to a course of 100. I think that'll about do. So what height is it? Okay, they're aware that we're coming in for attack, so they've gone right down to the bottom. So when it gets to 95%, you should actually be able to see the ship if you do this. So you can kind of see where they are. So they're in front of us and very low. So let's set a torpedo to dive hard and let us. Okay. So we've got a wired torpedo on the go here. So what a wired torpedo is it's something that's physically attached to the submarine, which basically means that we can guide it, which is pretty damn cool. Okay, so they're giving rise in planes, which could be their downfall. We can actually see the submarine very faintly over in the distance. They are very far away. No, are they diving again? They look like they're diving. So the wire is still intact, which is fine. What's their signature? They're moving very slowly, so I don't think they've actually picked up. Aha! Okay, right. This is a problem. So, brake from silent running, active sonar. Right, we're going to switch the weapon to active sonar. So the problem that they've got here is they've now cut their engines completely. Okay, so it's reaching its waypoint, so the weapon is now going to be armed, and it is fully under our control at this time. Has it got a target? It has. It's acquired the target. We can't see it, but it's acquired a target. Okay, they're now going to be heading away from us, so let's go back here. Let's just use this opportunity to close in the distance. So we're going to cavitate. That doesn't matter. Just as long as they don't swing around to attack us, that's the main thing. Okay, so what... We don't actually have contact with where they are, but we reckon that they're below about 800 feet. So we can just see the stream of the torpedo over in the distance. So because we set the torpedo to be active... right, okay. We can't get below crush depth, so we need to watch out. So we'll give us a rise on the planes. Right. Okay, fine. 2/3 speed. So we still don't have contact with the person. I suspect that they have tried to go away from us, so they might not actually hear. Oh wait, hang on. Right, okay, they've actually done a reasonably good job of getting away. So we have some kind of false contact here. Right, okay. They're now coming up hard, so let's just give us some rise. How far are they away? They're 11. Right, okay, I think they're too far away. So our torpedo, thank God, seems to know what it's doing. So they did a knuckle. So basically, I'll show you what knuckles are in a minute. But they're doing tactics to try and confuse the submarine. But our torpedo is right next to the knuckles, which means it's very close. Looks like they've surfaced. They've dropped a noisemaker. And they have fully surfaced, right? Where are they? Okay, fine. Fine. Right, good. Right, let's fire another one. And let's level out on the planes. I think if memory serves me correctly, the duct layer... Ah crap, the wire broke. So when the wire breaks, it means the torpedo is fully active. Where's the submarine? Right, so our torpedo's been very confused by the damn noisemaker. So we need it to swing around. So let's just take control. We'll take manual control of it at the moment. Oh no, it's a noisemaker. Okay. If it ever comes up with launch transient detected, that is a sign that we have to take emergency action. But this might do the trick. Boom! Alright. Excellent. So in a plume of oil, they've now gone beneath the waves. And that's it. Soviet nuclear submarine has sunk, despite countermeasures and all of that nonsense. Having said that, just to add insult to injury, it might actually be possible. No, okay, the wires broke, so it just missed that one. So this submarine has now sunk to the bottom of the sea. Boom. Right, okay. So the good thing for the people on board is that they were on the surface when the torpedo hit, so there is a chance that they might have, that at least some of them might have survived. So yes, seeing as it's the first time in the sim, I'll show you a few things that you might not really know about. So I play a lot of World War II era submarine things, which aren't really as, you know, World War II era submarines are not nearly as capable as modern nuclear submarines, which is what we are here. So we're going to pick up speed here. I'm going to show you some torpedo evasion. So you see, when we're going so fast, you get what's called the cavitation effect, which means it's nearly impossible to pick out any signals from the sonar. The reason why you would go this fast is, one, torpedoes are only a little bit faster than you, so you've actually got a good chance of outrunning it if you can get onto them early. Oh god! Has our torpedo actually honed onto it? Well, it has. It's gonna... So, just to add insult to injury, if anyone does happen to be in a compartment underneath the water, they are now going to be fully deadified. Boom! Okay, so that submarine got jacked hard. Anyway, so if I go to... Well, if we watch the mini-map here... One of the tactics, so there's two things you can do if you've got a torpedo on. Well, actually, there's three things you can do. I'll show you them. I'll show you them all. So the first thing to do is make some noise. So if we drop a noisemaker, that just sits there hissing away, and that is a World War II era tactic for confusing submarines. The other thing you can do, so you heard me talking there about the process of cavitation, which is where you're going so fast that, you know, yeah. The similar thing can be used by using the water and causing it to swirl, and you basically, a revolving kind of cavitation water that actually reflects noise signals, so at best it can temporarily confuse a torpedo. Sorry, at worst it can temporarily confuse a torpedo. At best it can actually think it's a solid object and explode it prematurely. The only problem is they are very short-lived. So I'll show you what to do for that. If we just watch out on the rudder, you'll actually be able to see it forming. So if we do hard to port 30 degrees, hard to starboard, knuckle formed. So you just see it's an extra bit of cavitation, and if we keep doing it, so hard to port, hard to starboard, knuckle formed. So this only happens above 24 knots, and if we just keep doing it, we keep getting these little knuckles. So as well as the fact that we're travelling very fast and we're creating a lot of confusing sounds for the torpedo to deal with, this is how we would evade enemy torpedoes. The final thing that we can do, if we can just cut power a minute, is to put another submarine in the picture, which doesn't really seem like it makes a great deal of sense, but I'll show you what I mean. We are basically equipped with a number of what are called submarine simulators. So I think we're slow enough to be able to fire. So if I just fire one here, it's a torpedo, but it's a very slow going torpedo, and it makes a lot of noise as if there's a submarine moving at full speed, and it's basically designed to make all the noises of a nuclear powered submarine, and so torpedoes will start following that and not your ship. That is the hope. What else have we got? We've got a whole variety of weapons, but not on this ship, so I won't be showing you them. One thing you might have saw me looking at, it doesn't matter so much in this map, but there are tactics for creating hidden parts from sonar to hide your ship, which is pretty cool. But I can go into that another time. It doesn't matter so much in this because you see the thing saying there's a very weak duct layer, which basically means that the advantage of using such a shadowed area is very minimal. So before we go on to another scenario, I want to show you the last cool thing here. So let's just give us. So in American submarines, the crush depth, sorry, maybe I should qualify this. The crush depth in this is 1,000 feet. That may or may not be the real crush depth, because obviously a lot of this is very secret. Well, actually, okay, fair. In submarine warfare, you never test a submarine at crush depth, because obviously as soon as you hit it, that is the point where everything just completely screws you over. So instead you have test depth, which is the absolute maximum safe operating depth that you can use for a very short period of time, but not very long. I believe in this game it doesn't really, because we don't talk about test depth, we just talk about crush depth, so we can't exceed 1,000 feet. However, some of the Russian submarines can, so that's an important thing to remember. So as we can see, the submarine that's just down there is below crush depth. So what I want to show you is, imagine at this point a torpedo has just exploded next to you. You're taking on water, so because of the extreme water pressure, if you take on water below 300 feet, the flooding is so quick it is unmanageable. So what you do in that case is, now we've seen this in Silent Hunter, but what we do is we put ourselves to flank speed to give us the best possible water flow, hydroflow over the planes, full rise on the planes, and blow emergency ballast, which is very loud, very noisy, but then we end up coming up at an extraordinary rate of knots. So you can see we're 40 to 45 degrees, probably about 40 degrees, and within only a few seconds we're within happy sight of the surface, and we'll get to see the really cool view of a submarine breaching at that kind of speed. Boom! So that's how you surface a submarine in a hurry. The only problem with doing that is it takes a long time, a reasonably long time for the ballast to fill. And so yeah, so that's our submarine on the surface. So anyway, that was one. No, that's not what I wanted at all. What I want to do is move us on to another. Let's go for one with 6. Well, we had a skipjack class, so we'll go for the skipjack again. Ah, crap! That's not what I wanted. All right, fine. Apparently, we're getting a permit class. Woohoo! Okay. So as you can see, we've only got 4 tubes, and we're going to replace one of them with a MOSFET. MOSFET. I keep thinking I'm talking about computers. No, a MOS, which is the Marine Operated Submarine Simulator. I don't know. It's something submarine simulator. Okay, so we've got a moderate thermal layer, which is good. Now here's the problem: is we now have multiple contacts. There's one almost 90 degrees to port, so we're actually going to focus on 2, and we need to try and work out who it is. So we're just looking for the best match. Who was that? No, that's not it. That looks like it could be it. Foxtrot? No. Okay, so contact 2. No, 3's closer. Crap. But is 3 a Foxtrot? No, 3's not Foxtrot. Right. Silent running. I'll stop. Okay. So Sierra 1 is our closest contact. And it looks... it's now slowed down. In fact, I'm not actually too sure it is a Foxtrot. Ah, fuck me, fuck me. Yes, okay, it's a Romeo. Okay, and it's now cavitating, which is good. Sierra 1's close. It looks like it's a Foxtrot. No. Oh, bother! Yeah, okay, we'll call it a Romeo. Right, okay. So we've got 3 contacts for the moment. Right. We want rudder ever so slightly left, so we're going to come to our bearing here. So there's usually a plane flying overhead, yes, so we can't get too close to the surface, because there is an aircraft overhead. Right, okay. What I might do, so we'll go to maneuvering speed. We've got a moderate duct layer, which is good for stealth, so in order to close down the distance, I'm actually going to bring us up into this duct layer. So yes, this is our submarine. Now the problem with this submarine, unlike the one that we were in previously, is rather than having front-mounted nozzles, torpedo tubes, it's actually got side-mounted ones. You can just see them kind of where my mouse is hovering around the place, which means you can only launch your weapons within a very small window of speed. So we're now... going ahead slow. Okay, let's level this out. Right, fine. Fine. Okay. So who have we got the best contact of? It's actually Sierra 3, who we believe is a Romeo. Yeah, I'm quite comfortable that's the case. They're trying to move slow. So the problem with my submarine is if I cut my engines and go as slowly as possible, then the nuclear reactor still gives my position away. Whereas the Romeo class is a diesel submarine, so it's a diesel electric submarine. So when it's on batteries, it can maneuver in near silence, which means I need to use the active sonar to find it. But the problem with that is I'm just too far away. Ah, crap! They've now risen to the duct layer. I think we have a good line of sight on them all. So I think. So this is a proper wolfpack. So I get the sneaking suspicion that our Romeo class might have me figured. Because it's up in the duct layer with me. So when you talk about the duct layer travels a lot longer than underneath the duct layer. Because it just basically reflects off the surface. So I'll probably be able to. This is why, even though Sierra 1 is closer, I'm getting a better signal on Sierra 3. Oh god, Sierra 2 is close. Okay, we have a launch solution. Let's just set off some trial torpedoes here. Let's set it to dive slightly. So let's go. Launch torpedo, S2 Foxtrot. Ah crap, launch transient. Turn! Right. Full depth on the plane. In fact, no, hang on, forward to this. Level out, level out, level out. Fire ahead. Okay, so that launch transient's close. Right, okay. So, we've done a submarine simulator. Right, okay. We're gonna go below the duct layer. Swing us around north band. Shit, I had to hit the long way, didn't I? Okay. I wish I had the opportunity to fire off the rest of my torpedoes, actually. So the the wire has broke. Okay, let's just hold us here. I can't tell if that's heading towards us or away from us. Okay. Right. Bring us round 0. So we've reacquired Sierra 3, which is fine. But we've got nothing on its torpedo. In fact, I think its torpedoes got lost. It's no longer heading towards me. Well, I say that bravely. Right, where are we? Yeah, that's fine. Right, bring speed down. Just for a moment. We need to acquire... Ah, crap, that's a torpedo heading right for us. Right, let's just active sonar. No, it's heading away from us. Right, okay. Right, let's now just... Launch transient from S2. So we're just gonna fire off some weapons at this time. Right, where's that torpedo? It's getting pretty damn close to us, sunshine! Okay, flank speed ahead. Let's just begin our maneuvers. So let's just reload what we can. Let's reload this one. So we've broken the wires because of the direction that we're turning, which is fine. Yes! Actually, no, hang on. Slow speed. Hold position. We've confused their torpedo, I think. So the moth that we've fired isn't heading for me, I don't think. Nope, screw it, it's fine, mate. Yeah, okay, it's gone past them. Okay, fuck. It's done! Okay, it's coming down. Fill to port. Hard rise on the planes. If we get one torpedo impact, that's us at this kind of depth. Whoa, ballast! Shit! No, it's direct hit. Ah, fuck. Damn, son. Are we below escape depth? Yes, okay. Well, we're within escape depth, so we can pretty much get to abandon ship. I guess the thing is, did my torpedoes hit anyone? got one contact in sight. No, I guess we'll never know. Well, having said that, there does look to be one. Yes. Okay. So, oh no, is that us? It can be quite hard to tell because you can't. I don't actually, in retrospect, I don't think you can move between contacts in this kind of view. Which is a smidgen annoying, but it does look like we hit one. Enemy submarine. But we'll call it. So, yes, so we did sink. The Foxtrot we sank, and the 2 Romeos sank, as did we. So it's really hard going up against a friggin' wolf pack of things. I think what we did wrong there was not firing all the weapons sooner, because as soon as you fire weapons, it puts them on the back foot. So usually the first one to fire has the advantage, and we kind of didn't do that. But this is Cold Waters, and I hope you've enjoyed this introduction to modern submarine warfare. I think when we come back we'll try our hand at the campaign, but for just now I'm going to say thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.